Do the kids in your dollhouse need to go outside to play? This week I show you how to make a really fun project, a swing set for either the yard or the playground at school. Join me and see how easy this project is. All right, to make the first part of our swing set that we are going to make a minimum of 2 of these A-frame ends, depending on how big of a swing set you're going to make. And check the blog, I'll talk more about that on the blog post. But we need these pieces. We need 2 pieces of 3/16 inch dowel. They're 7.5 inches tall. And the measurements will also all be in the blog post. We need this cross piece. And we need this bendy part. This is actually, the bendy portion of a bendy straw. Okay? That's all that is. I will measure this and put that in the blog post also. Our first step will be to glue our 2 legs into our straw. And we're only going to put our legs in as far as the first crease of the bendy part. So you really, the lengths of this are not critical. The lengths of the legs are. They have to be all the same. Now, hopefully I've got enough 527 glue to last for the whole project. Otherwise I'll have to go to town in the middle of this. I really don't want to do that. But I'm using 527 glue when I'm gluing the plastic to the wood, like in this, this part, and then one more step. I'm only using it for those parts. When I'm gluing things like plastic, I like the 527. It works really well. Now, make sure you've got both of those up and kind of twist it to spread the glue around inside and let it be. Now that has to be dry all the way before the next step. This glue is pretty much dry. We need to make sure that we have both ends of our swing set the same shape. So I made myself a little diagram, and what I will do is I will scan this and put it onto the blog post. So if you want to copy this, and I made mine kind of color coded, so it'd be easier for you to see the lines when I put it on the blog. But I'm going to line this up. What these lines represent, this is my height, this is my center line. This red one's the center line. The purple is, and the red is the bottom. Purple's the top. That's how tall I wanted this. The blue lines, what I did was I took my first set and I bent it to where I got the height I wanted. And I marked where the feet were. And now I tape this down. And I want to make sure that it's taped. For me anyway, it's a lot of times really hard, I'm sure it is for other people too, to get 2 A-shaped leg units that are the same. That's incredibly difficult for some reason. At least it is for me. I imagine it is for other people too. Oh, and this mark is 3 inches up. This is where the cross piece will go. So now I'm going to lay this on here. And yeah, this is the same size. All right, now I have a piece that's 2, I think it's 2 3/4. Like I said, I will put 2 3/4 or 2.5. I'll write the measurements down and put those on the blog. This needs to be glued right here. So I'm going to put a drop of tacky glue on each place. Now it will be hard to clamp this with the paper under it. So I'm using my 2 glue method. So I get the lid off the super glue, and I'm going to glue, put a drop of glue on each end, and then I'm going to line this up. And by doing this, I don't need to clamp it. The super glue acts as a clamp. Now this needs to dry. When this is dry, we can come back and do the next step. All right, the glue should be all dry now, so I will peel this up. And next we need to figure out what goes for a top. Well, first we have to get all the tape off. Okay. This is the downside to taping it down, but I really didn't want it to run off. Now we need a top, rail that's going to go on the top. And I had this piece of basswood, and it is, looks like it's about a 1/4 inch square. Yeah, about a 1/4 inch square. And I cut a piece. I planned out, I know I want two seats. I did the drilling on these off camera because number one, I had to figure out where I was putting them so I could tell you. And watching me drill holes would have probably been really boring. So this is 8 inches long. I went in 2 inches from each end and drilled a hole, went over 1 inch from each of those and drilled another hole. So I have 4 holes, 2 inches in, 1 inch, 2 inches about, 1 inch, and then 2 inches. This will be diagrammed on the blog also, so if you didn't catch all that. And drilled all the way through because these are now going to have eye pins. Oh, and the drill bit size, let me see, is 1/16 of an inch. That was the smallest drill bit I could get to work today without falling out of my pin vise. Now we are putting a head pin in here. Using a head pin because the head will then be on the top. And we're going to let's see if I can bend around. So I'm going to cut this a little bit shorter. I don't need this much. Use one of my viewers told me these are just called round nose pliers. So thank you. I forget what your name was, but thank you. And we're just going to make a loop. And we'll be coming back to this later. We're going to do that 4 times. This is what our swing seats will be hooking onto. And I want to put these on. The reason I'm doing this now is I'm afraid that if I try to do this part once I get the swing glued together, number one, I'll mess up the paint, and number two, I would probably, knowing me, I'd probably break the glue connection between the ends and this top bar. Get this one cut off too. And yeah, there's little pieces of wire flying all over my table. I'll have to find those later before they get down on the floor and I step on them. Now, it would have been smart, I suppose, to make sure I was cutting those all off the same length so the loops would all be the same, but I just thought of that. So they aren't. But I'm just making a loop. We're going to open this loop up again later. I'm just putting them in here now so that most of the bending is done while this is loose. And I don't lose my head pins here that I'm using. Ah, it's running away. Okay. All right. So that's where our swings are going to go. Now, I'm going to put this in just like this. And it will sit right in there. And my other one is laying right here. Now, very important that these loops are going the same way as the feet. And I want to make it so that the board is on the outside on both ends. So, kind of spread that out. Get out my glue again, which I set off to the side. This is the last place we need the 527. So I'm hoping I have enough in this tube to finish this. I really don't want to have to go to town in the middle of making a video to get glue. All right. Get this. Put glue on this end. And there. Come on. And I'm going to have to hold this for a bit. So, alright, so now it's just a matter of letting this glue dry, and then I'll be back. Alright, so this is now set up, and I decided I wanted a little stronger. I want to be a little more secure than it is. So I cut 4 little pieces of skinny stick. Put 2 on each end, and they're going to go right here. And they are going to just, I think, help to hold this whole thing together a little more securely. I also squirted some more glue in there, hoping that would do it. But I don't want this to come apart. And I know it's not going to be a super strong piece to begin with, just because of what it's made of. So, see, it's a little wobbly. We're going to see what we can do about that wobbliness. That's the problem with doing these videos, when I know what I want to do, but I haven't actually done it yet. This one, I admit, I am making it up as I go. So I'm kind of making this up one step ahead of where I'm filming. So there's going to be a few adjustments from step to step, I'm afraid. There. I think this will hold it a little sturdier now. Just need to kind of, come on. Just need enough glue for one more place. This is the last place I need this. There, now we'll let this glue dry, and then we'll be back. Alright, so now that glue is pretty well set, and now this feels a lot stronger. So our next step, I am going to spray paint this entire unit. I need to take it outside to do that, so I can't take the camera with for that. But I'm going to take it outside in a box between rainstorms, because we've had rain and thunder and lightning and all kinds of wonderful things, and wind and everything today. So between bouts of weather in the next few hours, I am going to spray paint this, and I think I will probably use aluminum color. I haven't decided for sure. I'm going to look at my spray paint and see what I have. When it's all painted and the paint is dry, I'll be back. Alright, our swing set frame, the main body, is now dry. I think it turned out pretty good. I'll get some photos so it'll be easier to see, because it's kind of hard to see on the video. Next, we need to make our seats for our swing. And I've pre-done them. I've got one just about done, and I'm going to show you how to put together the other one. Now these are made out of lengths of craft stick. And rather than sitting here and drilling holes, I thought it would be better to just explain to you what I did. So I took a pencil and I made 2 sets of holes. First I made 2 lines, and I went in from the end. I find that when I drill holes, if I cut the craft stick first, let me see if I can adjust my light, and then drill the holes, I end up splitting the craft stick quite often. So I'm drawing 2 lines that are 1 inch apart. Then, on those 2 lines, I made little marks to make 4 holes. This is our seat. This is where our chain is going to attach to our seat. Then I drilled those with the same drill I used for the top. Drilled the holes, and then I cut it off just a little bit past there. I didn't even measure, I just cut it off. So I've got 2 holes there. Now, I have some chain. And I'm going to cut for each swing. I'm going to waste some chain, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut more chain than I need. It's just easier. This is pretty inexpensive chain. I'm not using anything expensive here. So for each swing seat you'll need 2 pieces, about, I don't know, 6 or 7 inches long. Now I tried doing this with nice heavy wire, and the heavy wire I couldn't get to bend nicely. So I ended up using, this is 28 gauge, it comes on a spool, it's really fine, it's going to bend up, but on the bright side that means it is easier to deal with. And what we need to do, cut 2 pieces of it. I'm just going to put the chain onto one end of a chain onto that wire. I am going to put the wire through the holes in the seat. And then so that I make sure I have about the same amount, I've got this piece of dowel. This is what's left over from my legs. And now I'm going to take my needle nose pliers and I'm just going to twist. There. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the other piece of wire and the other piece of chain on the other end of this seat. Now feed this through the holes in the seat. And there's probably an easier way to do this, but this is what came to me as I'm kind of going along. Because I don't know if I mentioned it or not, I'm kind of making this one up as I go. I know what I want. I know how I want this to be in the end, but I'm having to, since I didn't really want to make 2 of these because they're kind of big, I'm kind of going, as I go along, I'm kind of coming up with what I'm doing. Now, well, that one already broke off. Hopefully it broke off with enough. Is that going to stay? Yeah, I think. I'm going to cut these wires off. And then just to neaten up the bottom and make it look a little nicer, I cut just a small piece of cardstock. I'm going to paint these seats, but I want to kind of neaten this up and get rid of that sharp edge of the wire and make the bottom of the seat look a little nicer. So then when this is dry, I'll trim it off and I'll paint it. I decided to make the seats on mine yellow. I painted this one last night. So when I get this one dry and painted, I'll be back. This is now pretty much dry. I'm going to need to trim the paper back. And the paper on the bottom is optional. I just thought it made it look a little more finished. And then I'm painting it with just some yellow craft paint. This one I did last night has 2 coats on. I actually used black paper because that's what was laying on my table for the bottom of that one. And I'm not being particularly neat. I figure I can get it off of the wire if I get it on there. Let's see if I can get this painted. Yeah, this is going to blend in better. But this way it kind of disguises that paper on the bottom. Then after I get the swing seats hung up onto the swing set, I will get out my clear high gloss brush on finish and paint these with that. And that way I'm kind of trying to make it look like, well, when my older boys were little, they had a swing set in the backyard and it had bright yellow plastic seats on it, and that's what I'm kind of doing here. Had the hard ones. Now my 2 younger kids, when their swing set, it had the soft, like sling type seats, and I guess just do those out of some kind of fabric. I'm sure you can figure that out if that's what you want to do. I will give this another coat when it's dry, and then I'll be back and we'll put these onto the swing set. Alright, so the paint is dry, so we now have 2 swing seats, and I am going to put a clear finish on, but I thought I'd wait till they were hanging and then I can put the clear finish on. So this part's going to be a little harder to get in the video, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I've got a doll here, and I know that I want to measure her little seat. Her little seat's about right about 1.5 inches. So I want to put one of these seats so it hangs about 1.25 inches from the ground. So what I will do, I'm going to lay my ruler in here. This clear ruler. Let's see, I'm going to stand it up so that it stands there. Alright, now I want to, and this is just like when you're doing it at home on a real swing set. You kind of hold it up and you say, okay, I want to have this high off the ground. Whoops, this high off the ground. So that's going to be that link in the chain. So I'm going to cut off the one above there. Okay, hopefully that was the right one. And now, here's this one. I am going to lay this out and hopefully get even. Let's see, I'll probably be best off if I count. So what I'll do is I'll count up how many links I have, and I'll cut this one off at the same length, and then I'll be back. You can actually see me do it. So what I did, so I just opened these loops up just a little bit, counted my chain, so it's the same length on both sides. This chain happened to be 35 links. And now the swing seat hangs and swings back and forth just like a real swing. I'll take some photos of this and put at the end, a couple of photos for the end of the video this time, as well as the one that you saw at the front end. I hope you enjoyed this project. Oh, the other thing I'm going to do, I am going to now cover this with a clear gloss finish to make these look more like the yellow plastic seats that my son's swing set had. So I hope you enjoyed this project. Be sure and check the blog because I've already written part of the blog post for this video, and it's a pretty long one. I go into a lot more detail on cutting and why I made decisions I did and such. And there'll also be good pictures there where you can get a good close-up view, and I've already scanned the diagram for the leg ends, and I'll probably do the diagram for the top here too. As well as the pictures. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure and check the blog. Like I said, be sure and check us on Facebook. If you make the project or any of the projects I've shown you, or whatever you're making, please post pictures on the Facebook page. I love to see what you guys are making. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.